JJ explained why Kylo reforges his mask in episode 9, and they actually put more thought in it than what I imagined they did. I just thought they did it so they could sell more toys.
You're fulfilling your destiny.
Yes, I know this isn't my normal set. I'm preparing for my special October videos, which has a lot of Halloween stuff in it, so that wrinkled Death Star blanket is up to hide it until it's October, which should be tomorrow if I'm releasing this video correctly. If it's already October when I'm releasing this video, then that was a whoopsie. So this is gonna change. This isn't normal, sorry. So in case you aren't up to date on the teasers and promotional images, in episode 9, Kylo reforges his helmet. Well, he has someone reforge it for him. And honestly, the red lines through his reforged helmet is kinda hot. I'm not thirsty for Kylo or anything, but yeah, that helmet is really sexy. Before JJ's interview where he discussed it, I also assumed that Kylo probably reforged the helmet and was wearing it because Rey rejected him, and we know that he was balanced when he was in the throne room with Rey and Snoke.
Parent to Lord Vader, where there was conflict, I now sense resolve. Where there was weakness, strength. Complete your training and fulfill your destiny.
In episode 9, he's back to being conflicted and unbalanced and being pulled to the light, so it kind of sucks for him. Also, again, before JJ's interview, I assumed it was to sell more toys because they are pumping out Kylo's reforged masks, and you can already buy them. So Disney really knows how to merchandise, and I'm not gonna say they're greedy because they're a company, of course they want to make a lot of money, but I also wouldn't put it past them to make slight little changes to stuff so they can get out more toys for kids. But alas, JJ has shared that there's actually a deeper meaning to Kylo reforging his helmet, and he shared in an interview why he did so. So let me read that little blurb to you now. Having him be masked, but also fractured, is a very intentional thing. Like that classic Japanese process of taking chromatics and repairing them, and how the breaks in a way define the beauty of the piece as much as the original itself. As fractured as Ren is, the mask becomes a visual representation of that. There's something about this that tells his history. His mask doesn't ultimately hide him, and his behavior is revealed. Yes, he's a torn, deeply tortured soul that's beautiful in its own way. You know, beautiful in the way where you murder your dad. That kind of beautiful. Also, if you don't know what he's talking about a Japanese philosophy that treats breakage and repair as part of the history of the object and to be celebrated, not something to disguise. It's about embracing the flawed and imperfect. Which goes back to the message of episode 8. Letting the past die and forgetting about it and throwing it in the trash leads to nothing but heartbreak.
Time to let old things die. Snoke, Skywalker, the Sith, the Jedi, the Rebels, let it all die. Rey, I want you to join me. We can rule together and bring a new order to the galaxy.
Don't do this, Ben. Please don't go this way.
No, you're still holding on! Let go!
By accepting, acknowledging, and using your past to learn from and move forward, you can become happier and make better choices. I mean, I guess him putting on the helmet again could be Kylo saying fuck you to Snoke. I thumb my nose at you. I'm gonna put on that thing you didn't like from day one. Because if you are into the other canon, Snoke never liked that helmet at all. But I'm hoping that JJ is going more towards the embracing your imperfections, embracing your past mistakes, learning from them, not living in the past, but not killing it off completely either. Taking that and growing from it. Also, and I'm just throwing this out there, we, for some reason, have become obsessed with perfection and people not having anything bad in their past, and also them just being perfect in every way, which is why plastic surgery and all that shit is on the rise. And I'm not knocking plastic surgery. If you want to do that to be happier about yourself, I am A-okay with that. You do you if it makes you happy. But the problem is we're just becoming so obsessed with perfection that it's just not attainable. And we need to accept people for the flawed, imperfect people that they are and celebrate it, and especially celebrate when they were a little bit not so great, that they learned from it and grew and became a better person. I'm not saying celebrate murderers. Someone's gonna twist that. Don't do that. Don't be a fucking idiot. Because also, and this is just a random tangent, you know when you were a kid and they would say, oh, practice makes perfect, and then you'd practice a lot, and then you'd get frustrated because you weren't perfect, and then they'd go, well, nobody's perfect. Bitch, what? And if I can add a little bit more into this, there's a lot of discussion right now about Kylo being redeemed. And I know there are some people that say Bendemption, and then other people are saying Kylo can't ever be redeemed. He killed his dad. He killed a lot of people. I think people have a hard time with the difference between forgiveness, redemption, and being able to move on. And that's something I want to discuss in a future video, because you can be redeemed but not forgiven by others. And that's very important, because if you even look at Kylo's grandfather, Vader, yeah, he was redeemed in the end, but Leia didn't forgive him. A lot of the galaxy didn't forgive him. He wasn't automatically just a great guy in everyone's eyes. Those are two separate things, and I think people have a hard time understanding the difference. And that's not like a knock of, oh, people that understand are so smart. It's just, it deals with a lot of psychological just processes, and it can be a really hard concept for anyone to understand. I personally struggle with the difference between redemption and forgiveness still. I have a very hard time with those lines, and I have a really hard time. I love Vader, don't get me wrong, I'm a Vader fangirl, hardcore, but even I recognize that even though Vader was redeemed, he was not a good person, and he should not have been forgiven for all the heinous shit he did. And I also really like the idea of Kylo embracing the light and the dark and finding that balance and not having to shut out one or the other. And it's the same thing with Rey. Rey has a pull towards the dark side. We've seen that not only in the films, but in other canon they've published, that Rey has a temptation towards the dark side. Kylo has a temptation towards the light and dark. So for them to find balance and accept that it's something that's always going to be a struggle, I think is a wonderful message. Because I don't know if you know this, you just don't resist temptation once, and then for the rest of your life, you never have temptation. No, your entire life is a struggle of making good decisions and being a good person and making better decisions and growing. And so to show that, okay, Kylo, maybe he's redeemed, maybe he finds that balance, but that's something he has to work on his entire life. And maybe that's something Rey has to work on her entire life. And together, they work on it. And they would actually be amazing teachers to the next generation of Force users, saying, hey, look, you're gonna be tempted. You're gonna have these feelings. And that is perfectly okay. It's about making a decision every day to do the right thing and to be the best person and use your powers responsibly. And to me, that's a better message than, oh, I went through so many adventures, now I'm a good guy and I'm never gonna do a bad thing again. Bullshit. We all have temptation, we all make mistakes, we all grow as a person, and we all slide back occasionally. And I really like that message of the sequel trilogy, personally. Was not a fan of The Last Jedi, although I've been trying to be very positive about it because I got so sick of people just bitching about it. But I do like that message of the sequel trilogy, and I think it's an important time in our society, because we live in a society where we're so focused on perfection and pointing out people's flaws and making them feel terrible about it, instead of being like, yeah, you could work on it if you want. Here we go. Here are some tools to help you be a better person. Oh, you used to be flawed like that and you fixed it? That's great. Oh, you have what I consider a flaw, but you're not going to fix it because you don't consider it a flaw? That's great too. What did this video become? But what about you? Do you like Kylo having his helmet reforged in episode 9? Do you think the mask looks cool? Do you think this deeper meaning is actually something pretty interesting that they're pursuing? Let me know in the comment section down below.
Thanks so much for watching. Please like the video and subscribe for more Star Wars videos.